This discussion is with a friend of mine I met named Nathan Price. Nathan found me through a video I had made called The Joy of Finding, and has been a huge supporter of the things I've been creating since then. Nathan is a barista and a huge fan of hip hop. He knows a lot of different artists and supplies all of them, including me, with a vast different amount of ideas. He is a gamer, just like me, with particular interest in Street Fighter and Skullgirls. The following is the first conversation we had over Discord, which I was really excited for. We talk about some of his life experiences, from selling shoes to things that have happened as a barista, as well as Tyler the Creator. He exposes me to a lot of different artists that I appreciate immensely. Nathan equates life to a Jenga tower. We build a lot up for it to come crashing down, only to start over again and again. For things are not about reaching an endpoint, it's about the journey of playing. Thank you for listening.
Hey,
Hello?
Cujo.
Hey,
Hey, what's up?
how's it going?
Hi, it's going good, going good. I'm super psyched for this call.
Dude, I'm pretty excited too.
Uh-huh. All
Uh,
right.
how did you find me?
Yeah, so I actually kind of been kind of thinking about it, and so long story short, what happened was I was watching a video on YouTube, and your video showed up on like the right side, like like all the suggested videos. And the first video I saw of you was the video with you, like and Tyler and Kojima, the thing about like finding, like the joy of finding.
Yeah.
That was my first video I saw of you.
Oh, okay.
Um, Yeah, and it was interesting because what happened was I think I like screenshotted it and I was like, I'll get around to it because I know like sometimes like you won't find that suggested video ever again. And I saw it was like really small and views and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And I saw like Tyler in the thumbnail and stuff, and I love Tyler, and stuff like that. And I was like, hmm, I kind of want to get back to this. I don't really want to watch this right now, but this seems interesting. And then I think maybe like a day later something like that. I like kind of remembered that the video was still there, like I still had it kind of in the back of my head, and then I watched it, and then I ended up really liking it. So and then the rest is history. So
Dude,
that was my first video I saw of you.
dude, thank you. That's actually really
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I actually made that video with a camcorder. Like, if you go back and, oh, I can hear myself through your mic, I think.
Oh really? Oh
Yeah.
okay. Do you want me to like wear like some sort of like headphones or anything? I don't have like that right now.
Um, it's okay. I might just turn you down a little bit, and maybe I won't
Okay.
hear myself as much.
Let's see. Oh, I also remember I have it on speakerphone, so I'll take it just like to reg. I'll take it on just like the phone audio. Let me see. How is this?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Okay, awesome. Okay, now it's not on speakerphone. I think that's what it was. It was on speaker. So, but yeah. Do you want me to say the story again, or is that audio
No,
fine?
no, no, that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I made that on a camcorder, and then like,
Hmm.
I'm trying to even. I used like the mic that I like would play shows with to record it.
Hmm.
Now I have better gear. Like,
Yeah.
there's probably like if you've seen the newer stuff, there's a definite step up in
Yeah.
quality.
It is. Yeah.
But yeah, since you're like a fan of Tyler,
Hmm.
uh, I don't know. I'm trying to remember when exactly he said it, but he talks about having like a number one cheerleader.
Oh
You,
yeah.
I think you are definitely like my number one cheerleader when it comes to like the YouTube stuff, dude. You support the
Aw.
hell out of me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I really mess with your stuff. That's why I've been like hyping you up and stuff like and all of that. Because I just with creators that I really like, I like to like tag them in things, talk about them with my friends and stuff like that. I just love spreading the word because then like good stuff kind of like ripples effect, like has a ripple effect. At least that's what I believe. So I try to like be a part of that like ripple effect of like trying to share the good stuff everywhere. So.
Yeah, that's honestly you don't see that much of that. Uh, like, hmm, there's just not even when it comes to my friends and stuff like that. My friends are kind of all doing their own thing and really
Yeah,
focused on building up their own thing, and I'm totally guilty of it. Like, I try to support where I can, but when it comes to
100%.
like my stuff, I
Mhm.
I just very much admire you for the amount of effort you give towards other people,
Hmm.
and I think that's a definite strength.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Uh,
Hmm.
I also wanted to ask you about fighting games and stuff.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Go ahead.
Which one have you been playing? Skullgirls?
Yeah, Skullgirls has been the one I've been really gravitating to, aside from Street Fighter V. Those are pretty much the two that I've been kind of focusing on at the moment, but Skullgirls I'm kind of gravitating more.
Hmm. Do you like Street Fighter or Skullgirls more?
I would say like I've been spending more time with Skullgirls, and I'm realizing I really like Skullgirls much more. I really like it because of its like the art style is really cool. Each character really has like their own personality. The moveset on some of the characters are freaking bonkers. Like literally the latest one that they dropped, which is I think it came out like last year or something. The character is called Black Dahlia, right? And I was
Yeah.
going against one in online, I think it was like yesterday, and it was nuts. The playstyle, like it literally, the character has like bullets, right? But like some of them are fire, some of them are ice, and then it has like an entourage, like a special attack it has is literally just an entourage of like enemies with like guns and like one with like a knife and stuff like that to attack you and stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, like this is like crazy. Um, so yeah, so that was like one of the characters I fought against. But yeah, and then the music is awesome. Like the training music that they play
Yeah.
while you're learning, like, it's so good. I love like all the little like details. It's kind of like old timey in a way. So like the what's called along with the art style being like kind of being 2D and stuff, but just like in general, it's like very like old timey. And then like I love the narrator. Like it's just like like one of the things they say is like, now you're cooking with gas, and it's like so good. Like I just love it. Just like those little details. It just like overall, it's just a really good package. At least for me, I like it a lot compared to Street Fighter V, which isn't like a bad game or anything, but just something about it is just really this Skullgirls game is really resonating with me right now. So,
That's good. I always admired Skullgirls for
hmm.
like the technical ability you need to play it. Like I played a
Hmm.
little bit, but I
Yeah.
think I only have like 30 minutes or an hour inside of Skullgirls.
Uh-huh.
And then I've only played a little bit of Street Fighter 5, but my games have been like I played DBFZ a lot when that came out,
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
and I've played Melee. Like I've competed in Melee since oh, like probably 18. Like since I was 18. I'm
Wow.
23,
That's
so
like, yeah, it's like 5 years. Holy
yeah,
moly.
I love Melee. That's
Hmm.
my fighting game.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's funny you bring that up because I told you in the past as well with Smash, like I have that's the one game out of all the Smash games I've just never played. And it's so weird because like we always played like all of the Smash games because it was pretty much how I was introduced to Smash. It was me and my brother, and we would go over to because like long story short, like my parents, they are divorced. So when I would go over to visit my biological dad, my one of my cousins on his side would be there, and he would have like a bunch of games and stuff like that. And one of the things he introduced us to was Super Smash Brothers 64. So it would just be my older cousin, me, and my brother just like playing Smash for like hours and hours and stuff. So yeah, so we would like play every one of them, but I don't know why. Maybe it was because like I think Melee's like rated T, and maybe that was why because we were kind of like kids, I guess, in age in comparison. But
Mm.
I've heard nothing but like the best about Melee and everything, how it's like incredibly technical and like the ceiling of everything is really awesome. But yeah, pretty much I've played all of the other ones, and I have like a uh, really like big like love hate relationship with it, especially Ultimate, where like the online isn't like well, it's not like perfect and stuff. It can be kind of aggravating, but overall, on the whole, like I do have a lot of nostalgia for Smash, and I have a huge like soft spot for it, just because it's like been so big in my life for so like much of my childhood. So.
Yeah, I'm really similar. But I played Melee when I was young, and I always ended up
Mhm,
gravitating towards back towards Melee because of like YouTube and
mhm.
stuff like that. I
Yeah,
remember
absolutely.
I remember
Yeah.
probably when I was like a teenager, have you ever seen like the Rage compilations for any of the
Yes,
smashes?
I have.
Dude, I
Yeah,
like
with like Chuck the controller and all
yeah.
that. Yeah, Wombo Combo too. That's a classic too.
Dude,
Wombo
yes.
Combo. It's like crazy.
For any of the
Yes,
smashes?
I have.
Dude, I
Yeah,
like
with like Chuck the controller and all
yeah.
that. Yeah, Wombo Combo too. That's a classic too. Wombo
Dude,
Combo.
yes.
It's like crazy. Yeah. So, and I've also seen what's it called? Yeah. I've also seen. I think it's like a few different players, like compilations of them. Like I think, Mango and Hungry Box are like huge,
hmm
melee players. I only seen like a little bit of clips of that, but most of the time I've seen like just like the angry compilations and like the Wombo combo.
Yeah, Wombo Combo is a classic. Have you played much DBFZ?
Yeah, I have played a little bit. And the DBFZ is Dragon Ball Fighters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I played a good amount. I so like the thing is like I played it on Switch and everything and I liked it overall, but I was playing the story mode and the story mode was like it was kind of okay and it got really repetitive. And then I kind of like studied the characters a little bit more and then I just kind of realized like the game wasn't really like clicking with me and it wasn't really like resonating with me as much as I wanted to. And don't get me wrong, like I love Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball as a series. Like I used to play Budokai Tenkaichi 3 as a kid as well. I
Wow.
used to love
Yeah.
that game.
That's so good.
Yeah, so it wasn't like from a place of like hatred or anything, but it was just like it wasn't really clicking with me per se, like some of the other fighting games I'm playing now, like Skullgirls. Like in comparison, like Skullgirls is resonating with me much more, and it seems like it has a lot more that I'm liking more so far. So.
Yeah, I think Skullgirls, from what I know, I think Skullgirls is a lot more balanced in between like punish game and neutral.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I saw also another cool thing about Skullgirls is that apparently it takes a lot of inspiration from the Marvel vs. Capcom series, like especially Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is really cool because
That's true.
especially like the team,
I
like
could
the
see it.
tag team fighter. Yeah. And then the cool thing is same thing with like the Dragon Ball Fighters. It's also kind of like inspired by like Marvel vs. Capcom as well, but kind of in a different way. But of course, more obviously like the tag team aspect of it. But yeah, that's kind of cool too. Across those two games, they have that common denominator of like Marvel versus Capcom, literally like giving the bedrock to like some of the other fighting games that would like be birthed after it. That's just like such a cool thing to me.
Hmm. Yeah, I love fighting games, dude.
So, since you were talking about Smash, what are your mains, like your characters you really like gravitate to?
Oh man, Falco for sure in Melee.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
okay.
a Falco guy. It's like half the people who play Melee play Falco, but
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because he's like really speedy and like has like the what's called the little like shield thing to protect you against projectiles and stuff. So he's a very nimble, swifty character, I would say, to really like get around and get some nice damage in really quickly. So.
yeah, and like Falco, I think his strength in that game is like he holds such good control of the match.
Mhm.
S-
100%.
So
Yeah.
people gravitate to him, I think, for that reason, just because of his laser. And yeah,
hmm
I sometimes I play Falcon too. I don't main
Oh,
Falcon,
Captain
but
Falcon, nice. Okay.
yeah, I just like to knee people. It's
Yeah, that's one I think in the entire series, that's one of the most gratifying things to do. It's just like the like that spark like knee, the electric knee when you hit it just right, it's like so good.
Dude, yeah, and like melee, you can like triple knee if you hit him really early.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my
So you
God.
can knee
That's
him and then
crazy.
leap after him and knee him again. And if you land
Oh
and then
yeah, and
you
then
can jump and knee him
and,
for a third time.
yeah. Plus, like Captain Falcon's Meteor Smash is nuts too.
Yeah.
Like when you can really like spike them. Oh man.
Yeah, like
But
later on in the game though, like you can meteor cancel and stuff like that. I don't know if you how much you know about melee tech.
no, I don't know much about melee tech, but
So,
that sounds familiar. Like it sounds like a meteor tech is like you're gonna like meteor smash, but then you like cancel it and do like maybe like a jab or something, or like recover instead.
so what it is like this is only in melee, but if you get
Oh, only
meteor,
melee.
yeah, if you
Hmm.
get meteor hit, you can
Hmm.
like right after you get hit by the attack, you can actually jump and just completely like cancel the downward trajectory of getting
Oh
hit by a meteor.
wow,
Yeah. So like Falcon's
wow.
downer is actually not that strong.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that's
It
just like my Smash Ultimate, like running in my head.
Yeah, if they know how to like if they don't know how to meteor cancel then like, meteor
Yeah, kind of
smash
like
them.
wave dashing. It's very it's kind of like a nuanced thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I was going to ask how do you like being a barista?
Oh, Barista, yes.
Yeah.
So wait, do you want me to answer also who I like in Smash and then the
Yeah, of
Barista
course.
question?
I should have asked you
Okay.
that. Who do you like
Yeah.
to play?
No, no, no. It's okay. Yeah, so as far as so I guess I'll kind of do like a walkthrough of each game aside from Melee because like I said, I didn't really play that. I think I played like once and I really liked Roy in Melee.
Hmm.
Um but yeah, so for Smash 64, I loved Captain Falcon. And then Melee, like I said, I didn't really play it, but if I had to pick one, it was probably like Roy. And then Brawl, I loved Ike. Ike, I loved Lucario, and I think also Pikachu a little bit. I liked not Pikachu, Yoshi. Sorry, Yoshi.
Hmm.
Those three I liked a lot. And then in the 3DS Wii U version, I like that one. I played as Cloud for a while, and then I'm trying to think of any other characters in that one.
Cloud was busted.
Yeah, Cloud was busted. Yeah, and then I think I liked Falcon a little bit in that one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, but then now like with Ultimate, I would say my number one has to be Sora. Sora's my main, and then I would
Oh.
say like my secondary is Young Link.
Oh. I'd like to play you in
So
I have to add you on the Switch still, I think. I should play you in
yeah,
Ultimate
sure.
sometime, but yeah, I played
Yeah, that would be really fun.
who did so I played Falco for a while, and then I played Falcon.
Hmm.
So basically like melee, but it's kind of flipped
Hmm.
because I really like Falcon in that game, and then like
Hmm.
Falco I played as a secondary.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, but also like a huge thing about with Sora, it's super nuts. Well, like obviously, like in general, it's nuts that he was added to the game. But what makes it even crazier is that I remember the time where Nintendo asked that poll of like, "Hey, what character you guys want in Smash? We'll add them. The number one pick, we'll add them." I remember like writing on my laptop like, "I want Sora in Smash." All those years ago, and then to like all these years later for it to be the last DLC
yeah,
character they would
that's
do for the
crazy.
game, I was like, "What?" I was like, "Ah!" So yeah, because I was like I was yelling like when the news when the trailer happened, and the trailer was great too. Like they didn't show it was Sora immediately. Like it was only until like they threw the fire into and then it was like the logo like the crown thing, and then it was like, oh my god. So yeah, that was definitely like a super hype moment for me. Even though it sucked because like the day before, I saw like on I think it was on TikTok or somewhere where there was like some leaks like, oh, Sora's in Smash, like there was a leak, and I was just like, I don't believe you. But like in the back of my head, I was like, you at least put it in the air. So like honestly, like I kind of was yelling a little bit and stuff like that when it actually happened. So I guess like the reaction was kind of muted a little bit, but I still was like, in just disbelief because like if you think about it, like Sora's just chained in so many different ways to like Disney, but then Square Enix and like all this weird stuff. But then they just found just the right way to just take out all the Disney parts, but keep the Kingdom Hearts stuff in it and be able to
Yeah.
add him faithfully in the game. So, but yeah, so in short, with Ultimate, with the most newest entry of Smash, Young Link and Sora are like my two favorite characters.
They're very
Um,
different play styles in terms of
yeah,
like the meta of that game.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, like it's very opposite. Like I was playing like doing online for a little bit with like Sora, and then I when I switched to Young Link, I was like doing stuff like that usually would work with Sora, but then I was like, oh shoot, that doesn't work with Young Link. So, but I don't know. I just like them both for different reasons and stuff. So maybe that's kind of why like that's kind of how because I was playing Young Link before Sora came out. But yeah, but then I saw him, I just played him, but yeah, but yeah, so now I'll answer the question about being a barista.
Yeah.
So being a barista, so I've been working as a barista for like a little over, probably like around a year and a half, but like at least a year and change. I don't know like the exact like time, but at least a year, year and a half range.
Mm.
But it's been good. I've been liking it as a whole. It's definitely not. Um, the thing is, like in my head, when I think of like being a barista, it's definitely like people who like talk about like delivery drivers or like FedEx workers or like Target workers, like those kind of jobs. Like you have to be like built different.
Yeah.
Like, and like I don't even mean that like in a roasting kind of way. Like you can't handle that. Like you can't handle this. It's just like in general, it's just it can be kind of a lot. At least for me, it can kind of be a lot, a little sometimes, but I do think the positives definitely outweigh the cons. I would think, I would say, um, just because, like for example, like I can talk to different customers and stuff like that, and that's fun. I love coffee, so I can make like coffee for
Yeah.
people, and
Caffeine.
yeah, caffeine, and I could also workshop myself, like for drinks that I might like and stuff. So I can even tell you if you're into coffee or anything at all. I can give you recs of different drinks to get and stuff like that because I got a few in my tool set um, that I could tell you about. But yeah, I really like that sort of thing where it's like talking to customers, but like making drinks and stuff. So it's overall, I think it's a pretty fun thing. And then because that's the thing with me, like with jobs, I really like customer facing jobs a lot just because it kind of allows like my creativity to flow because that's kind of like usually what gets like the most impactful interactions because like when you use like at least with me like when I kind of use my creativity and like kind of think about like say I'm in drive through and like I'm handing out somebody's drink and like waiting for the other one say they're wearing like say they have like a liquid death can and like in their like glove compartment I could
Okay.
maybe point that out and then I can like talk about it and then branch out into like maybe like what other drinks they like or maybe just talk about like Liquid Death as a company, like my opinion, like what I think and then what they think. So it's kind of using like the outside of the box thing instead of like only like how's your day going? Which is great, I do that, but to kind of like find like ways of conversation, it just allows like my creativity to flow, my creativity to like possibly pop out instead of like I guess like being in like a cubicle job and just like being a data entry person, just inputting numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that's kind of another cool thing about it. It's like your creativity, my creativity can kind of express itself in different aspects as well, which is kind of cool. So like I said, overall the positives outweigh the cons. So yeah.
Let's get off of Liquid Death, huh? You could start
hmm
a whole thing. That's
Yeah, I did.
crazy.
I actually did like, and that's the crazy thing too. I said I asked I talked about Liquid Death, right? And it was for like a mobile order, so it wasn't even somebody that actually ordered something in the drive-through. Like I took their order, but the crazy thing, it happened to me like a few weeks ago. I said, "Oh, like Liquid Death, blah blah blah. I just tried it, blah blah blah." The person goes, "Hey, I've got some Liquid Death in my trunk. Do you want some?" And the person gave me a free can of Liquid Death
That's awesome.
in the drive-through. And I was like, "What?" Like I didn't even say like, "Hey, can I have some?" Like literally, like the customer was just like nice enough. I guess maybe I was just nice to them and they wanted to give one to me. And the cool thing is like when they gave it to me, I guess they had like the nicer ones where it's like the sparkling water version, but it wasn't just a sparkling one. They have like a sparkling water berry version. So they gave me like a berry sparkling water Liquid
Oh,
Death just free, like literally. I was like, what? And I was like, thank you so much. I'll have to tell you how it is. Like when like if I see you again, I'll have to tell you how it is. So yeah, I had to first like make sure with my managers like that it was fine because like I'm sure
yeah.
maybe I didn't know if there was like a policy of like don't take stuff from customers. Like you don't know if something happened to it or anything. But I mean, they got it straight from their trunk, so it wasn't like they opened it or did anything. And I was trying to like make sure because it's Liquid Death, so people might think it's beer or whatever. So I was like trying to be like, and my manager, I was like, hey, like it's just water. It's just water. Like I was just because that's the thing. So many people think it's like beer and stuff like that, which
Yeah.
is part of the marketing and it's genius. But like seeing that like in the workplace is like, hey, I've got this can that looks like alcohol. I got it from a customer. Like it's just like kind of sketch. So but yeah, they're like, yeah, it's fine. So but yeah, and it was crazy too. Like it seemed like it was like one you get from like Sam's Club or whatever, because like the can, it was like 18 ounces or something like that. It was like kind of a little larger. So I was like, wow, like I am so grateful right now. Like that is so nice. Like they did not have to do that. Because like I said, it wasn't even like the only contact I had known that was just like talking to them about Liquid Death for a little bit, like while waiting for the order to be finished.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Man,
So
that's crazy.
um yeah. So, but I guess like, to kind of connect back to like my other point with creativity, that's just kind of the thing. And with customers, I just really enjoy talking to customers and like having my creativity flow and stuff. Because I mean, having like knowing like what to ask people, like the variety of questions you ask customers in a way that's kind of like creativity at work in a way. Because you could
Yeah.
just go two-dimensional and be like, oh, how's your day going? Which is, I mean, not inherently bad, like I said before. I mean, it can be good to check in on somebody. But yeah, but just kind of throw in those different curveballs, those different questions you might not typically think. It definitely kind of adds some spice to the pot. So,
Dude, you're like a lot of people in your position I think would be really down is how I'd put it.
hmm
Or just
hmm
like not happy to be there and a very like negative fixed mindset when it comes to that kind of stuff.
yeah,
I think it's
hmm
you never hear about people actually just having a day-to-day creative mindset in terms of their job. Like most people want to escape it, and I've thought this way too. Like a lot of the time, you just want to escape the job and like do
yeah,
something
yeah.
else.
It's
But
like a means to an end.
it seems like you've incorporated it into your own creativity.
Yeah, I've used it as like my just as like a tool in a way because like that's the great thing too about being a barista is that you see a lot of different customers. So it's a lot of different personalities, a lot of different um I guess like backgrounds, I guess in a way. So you kind of get like a different you just kind of also get anecdotes and stuff like that. So it kind of like fuels your creativity fire as well, if you think about it. At least for my job specifically. I don't know if it would be quite the same thing with your job because you do, I think you're a detailer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think that would be a little different for you because you're kind of like cleaning the inside of the cars and stuff. So you're not like talking to the car and be like, "Hey, how is it going, Honda Civic?" Like it just doesn't work like that. Like the closest thing would be like turning on the radio, but then like still it's like your control, like you're controlling like what they say, so it's like one-sided anyways, like
Yeah, no, well, being a detailer though, it I listen to a lot of music. So when you send me
oh
music, I
yeah.
I
Hmm.
have a lot of stuff like queued up is how I would put it. So typically I'll put it for like the next day or the day after. So I listen to a
Oh,
lot
that's
of
great.
music. I'll listen to my instrumentals like when I make beats and stuff, and
Oh, that's so
that's
good.
when I write the
Hmm.
raps and like stuff like that. And then but I don't uh talk to people. So if people like wanted a job that they could talk to people through, that it's not a good job unless you want to sell the cars. That's
Yeah,
probably good.
selling the cars would be completely different, and that would kind of realign with like the creativity, asking the different questions and stuff. Because that's a lot of like salesy stuff, customer servicey stuff. You have to like be able to ask questions, filter it out, and then really tailor like the questions you're asking to tailor that experience to that specific customer, so they feel seen, so they feel understood, so they feel like they're getting something that is going to be worth their while, that's meant for them. So it's like a whole like whole thing. So
Dude, you should sell cars.
no, it's it's actually funny you say that because like the reason why I have this kind of knowledge is because I actually one of my first jobs was working at a Reebok store.
Oh, how was that?
So I used to sell shoes. Yeah. So I used to sell shoes. I worked there for like 3.5 years. So it was pretty good. Honestly, like I'm kind of happy that I don't work there anymore,
Yeah.
just because like with Starbucks is much better in a lot of aspects. Like for example, like the wage is much better.
Mm.
Um, the customer variety is still maintained. Like it's still like a variety of customers, but then like but kind of like the joy of like making something for somebody and like it just feels like there's like more points to really connect with somebody compared to like Reebok, which is it's so crazy because I remember when I was working at Reebok trying to find like a different job and stuff like that. Not like to quit or whatever, but I was trying to see if I could maybe have like two jobs and stuff like that. I remember like thinking the exact opposite, and I was like, oh no, like if because like for example, like with shoes, if the shoe sucks and they go, man, this shoe sucks, you should be like, I didn't make it. It's all good. Like it's fine. Okay, let's return it. Like let's get
Yeah.
that. But then with Starbucks, it's the opposite, where it's like if you made the drink wrong, like if the frappuccino tastes weird, or like if the latte tastes off, if the decaf espresso isn't in it, like they'll like eyeball you and be like, this drink is wrong, and then like you'll have to like problem solve and be like, hey, like what's wrong about it, like what did you want me to put in there? And blah 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 blah. And like, okay, let me remake it for you. And then once it's remade, you usually want to try to like ask them like, hey, is that better? And stuff like that. So it's actually kind of like opposite. And I kind of like a little more that way, because it just also gives you like again like the creativity part. You're creating something and it puts you in the driver's seat a little more. So but yeah, so I'm kind of happier that I'm working at Starbucks, but I think Reebok really helped me a lot with like um what's it called with that knowledge I just shared you, and just kind of give me a nice platform with like a job and stuff like that, because that was pretty much like my first like substantial job that I had.
Hmm.
So but yeah, but it was kind of fun, like and it was cool too because at the time Reebok was owned by Adidas, so I could technically get like a little tiny discount at
Oh.
Adidas sometimes. Yeah. And it was crazy too because at one point they ended it eventually, but at one point they had the thing where like it was like 30% off on top of the discounts that they had at the Adidas store, which was like
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, but then they like ended it. They were like, "Oh, we're not doing it anymore." Obviously, probably because it was way too much money to fund or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, so that happened. What's it called? That discount was there, and then they like stopped that, and then basically what happened to my store was, um, what's it called? They ended up shutting down our store, which kind of sucked. But
Dang, man.
basically, yeah, and it was weird because it wasn't even just like, oh, like it wasn't like, oh, we're not making money, like we're $0, like we're never making day. Like they like gave us like a like just kind of like a vague reason and just like, oh, well, like the business doesn't want to like have this store anymore, blah blah blah. Basically, it was just like super vague. I think it's kind of better that way, just so like it's just kind of like, okay, whatever, it's fine. The business didn't think whatever,
Yeah,
so
that's
they
so
were just like,
strange. Huh.
but yeah, so that's so they shut it down and they gave us like it wasn't just like one day it was there and the next day it wasn't. Like they give us time to like they like get stuff ready and everything. And it was kind of I think that was like one of the other interesting experiences is seeing like the store like just like go less and less and less and less in the store where it was like near the last days was just like almost completely empty and we were just like standing there like, oh, what do we do? Like just like walking around like in the store.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and like and I think it's good too because at the time, like I said, I was like trying to see like a second job and stuff like that. I was thinking about possibly leaving because I'd been there for like 3.5 years and I figured like, oh, let me try to find something different. Let me switch it up. But it ended up working out because then I guess in a way like I didn't have to like tell my manager like, hey, like put it in my 2 week notice. It was just a little different. It was just like, hey, the store is bye bye. So bye bye. And then so it wasn't just like, oh, like letting the
Uh,
manager down and stuff like that. Because that's a whole thing, especially like when you're highly regarded and everything at a store and stuff like that. They just get all like, oh no, like what happened? Like why are you gonna leave? Like they just get all like I guess like puppy whimper in a way, like professionally, just like, oh man, oh,
yeah.
like is that, are you sure? Like it's just like, yes, like I am. Like I don't have anything else to say, like respectfully, like come on. So,
What do
but
you
yeah, so
think?
I was there for a while.
Oh, were you gonna say something?
No, I wasn't gonna say anything else. I was just gonna say like I was there for a while.
Huh. Yeah, what's the craziest interaction you've had in customer service? Because I'm assuming that's what you've worked a lot then.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, hmm, that's a really good question. Um, when you mean most crazy, do you mean like chaotic as in like Karen level, like Karens, or like
I think
strangest like anecdote you've heard that I've heard?
I think I'm thinking more of the Karen, but honestly, it's whatever you want to tell me.
Okay. Hmm.
Whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the weirdest. Okay. Ooh, wait. Oh, wait. I'm trying to think.
You're
Um.
good.
Yes. Okay. So I have one. So when I was working at Reebok, right? There was a customer that came in, right, and they were like kind of like they had like kind of like a sad look on their face. They came and they had like the box of shoes, right? And they were like talking to us and they're like, hey, like I would like to return these box of shoes. It was my husband's, but I just want to get it returned. And then like as she's talking and talking, she ends up like opening up and saying like, oh yeah, he passed away recently. And then she like pulled out like the death certificate of her
What?
husband and like put it there to be like, hey, like just to make sure like I wasn't faking it, like this is real and blah blah blah. And they were just, we all were just like, no, like you didn't have to like do that, like it's fine. Like and we did the transaction and it was like fine. So thankfully like she
Oh.
wasn't mean or anything, but we were able to get that sorted out and everything. And we did it for her. But yeah, that was like really weird.
Oh my gosh, have you had anything else happen like that?
um Yes, I've had another thing that was really weird that happened at Reebok. So what happened was I was talking to a customer and we were like kind of in like the clearance area. I was like talking to them, talking to like one customer. It was like this is the one guy. And I was like talking to him, and then randomly, like I guess like some other people, maybe it was like his family or whatever, like walked up to us and like talked to the guy, and they're like, "Hey, our neighbor got struck by lightning. We gotta go." And the guy just like looks at me and it just goes like, oh, okay, bye, and leaves.
What? Struck by
Literally, like,
lightning?
wasn't he? Yeah, one of their neighbors, literally. And literally, his response was just like, he literally responded to the family member was like, "Oh, okay," and like freaking left. Like,
All right, yeah.
yeah, it was just
Go
like,
take
"I
care of
bye."
that.
Like literally, the
Yeah.
SpongeBob meme, like, "I'm a head out." Like literally, that was him. Like just like, I'm a head out. See ya." Like, freak these shoes. I gotta go. Like
Man, I'd at
literally.
least get the Reeboks, you know? Like, oh
Yeah,
man, they're
I know.
probably
He didn't get
dead.
it like, because we still were we still were trying to figure out like what shoes he wanted and stuff, and he was in the clearance area. So I think it was just like I was just trying to like I said, like asking questions and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and stuff. But yeah. So those are kind of the two stories I can think of. Once, what's it called? I can give one specifically about being a barista because there's like plenty of those I can
Oh
give
yeah.
as well if you
Yeah, go
want.
for it.
Okay. Okay. So. Um, Okay, so I'll start with this one because I already talked about like handing stuff out with the liquid death. So another drive-through interaction. I was taking, but this time it wasn't a mobile order. It was just like regular, like they drove in. So I take their order. It was a nice interaction. Blah 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 blah. They drive up to the window. It's just like two guys in like the car or whatever, right? And the guys, they look at me. It's like two of them, and like the guy in the driver's seat's like, "Hey, do you want some moonshine?"
Oh,
And the guy in the passenger seat just has this like girthy like what's it called thing of like alcohol like in the bag, like like the brown paper bag kind of thing where they like try to hide it. It was like just like in like the passenger's like hands. And I was just like, no, like I'm good. I appreciate it though. But yeah, that was like kind of crazy. But I was just like, I really appreciate it, but no, I'm not. I can't drink on the job, and just like no, and just in general, I don't really like alcohol usually in general, but I handled it really well, and I was like, yeah, no, thanks, blah blah
yeah,
blah.
I'm pretty
I was like, oh,
similar.
okay, yeah, but yeah, that was that was pretty whack. I was like, what the heck?
That is great. Getting
Um,
offered moonshine at your job.
Literally, yeah. And it was like in a brown paper bag. So I didn't know, like, maybe it was moonshine, maybe it was like Kool-Aid mixed with like vodka. I don't know. Like, kind of like it could have been literally anything. Go like, oh, this is a special blend I made in my toilet. Like, I literally could not have known. Like, literally.
I feel
So,
it's safe that you didn't take it. That's a good
yeah,
thing.
because I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and they could have like put like a roofie in there, like, oh, let's like do something to the
Roofie the
barista.
barista. Yeah.
Yeah, let's freaking grab the barista, put it in the trunk, and do something to them later, or like make them coffee in our house. Just like that'd be so funny. Just like what's it called? Like having a barista and then like kidnapping them, taking them to their house, and like, all right, you're our barista now. It's just like a butler, but just only coffee. It's just like held hostage.
No, they'll have you cooking up moonshine in there. No more
Yeah, I
coffee.
cook at a moonshine. Here, coffee, man. You'll know how to do moonshine. Like teaches, and then just like escalates and escalates. You want to know other stuff we cook up? Just like Breaking Bad episode starts. Just like I'm Walter White. Say my name. I'm Nathan. I'm a burrito. It's just like a whole thing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's definitely that was one, and then I guess I could do one about like what's it called? Oh yeah, so there's another one. What is it? Another one in the drive-through. It seems like a lot of weirder interactions a lot of time in the drive-through, but
Mhm.
sometimes they're like in the cafe. But yeah, there's another one where, and this actually happened recently. It was like a few weeks ago. This happened, but no, actually, it was on Mother's Day. Wait, yeah, it was on Mother's Day. This one happened. Okay, so
Oh,
this one, so this one happened. So it was in the drive-through. The person ordered, we gave their drink, whatever. I gave their drink, all that, and they drive away. Right. So I'm like, oh, okay, next
okay.
car.
Yeah.
No, literally, well, not no, literally, but like, it's all weird because what happened was somehow the person that was in the car was like walking towards the window, like walking towards the window, and
Huh.
then so basically there's like road and then there's like a curb kind of area. So
Uh-huh.
they were like walking towards like walking along the curb and then walked back and then we're like, hey, this is wrong. this drink is wrong. And like and
Oh
everything, we're
no.
like talking about it. So then like come to find out they just ordered it like completely wrong. Like they were just like not like it was just completely wrong because they were trying to order it and then they were like, oh, why isn't it all the way up to the top of blah 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 blah. And like I tried to explain to her and then like like then one of my managers had to go and support her and like explain it to her and then we
Man.
had to like remake it for her like a few times. So then the final time we just like basically made it like not how the drink was described, but as the drink she wanted, and then did that. But so all this stuff and blah blah blah. So I do that, hand it out, and then one of the creepy parts was the like at the end, she was like, "Oh, can you do one more thing for me?" As she had like the fixed drink in her hand, she was like, "Yeah, can you do one more thing for me? Can you give me a smile?" Full seriousness into my eyeballs. And I was just like, what
Oh,
the
dude.
like mental, I was like, what the heck? And like outside I was like, I'm not gonna smile for you. Because like you don't do that. Like that's just not
Yeah.
okay. Like I'm working in customer service, but I'm not your like puppet to like be like, oh, I'm gonna do this for you, blah 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 blah. Like, and especially that the person was like mean too. Like imagine just in general, like it's just like a bully, just like, I want your lunch money, gets like 125 from your pockets, and then goes like, hey, can you give me a smile? It's like, no, you just robbed $1.25 from my pocket. I'm not gonna like talk to you like right. Like I'm just gonna do my best to separate. So, but yeah, but I was like, no, like I'm not gonna do that. And then it was weird too because I felt like that inner conflict too inside myself because like I've kind of had like people pleasing tendencies in myself for a while. I think I
Hmm.
still might. I probably do, but a part of myself was like trying to do it, like mentally trying to smile, but like me trying to set a boundary, just like, no, let me not do that. Like that's not okay. And
Yeah.
I ended up
Nah.
still not doing it. But like she looked at me and it looked like she saw me trying to do it, but like mostly not. And then she was just like, you're not smiling for me because you're pissed, and like walked away. And I was just like, oh,
Uh.
okay. And then the crazy thing is too, like there was like the car, like there was like a truck like that was already kind of close to the window, like ready to do all the paying and stuff, and they saw all of this, and they're like, man, I don't know what the heck that lady was. Like I was just like, yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
that was either. I had to like take a second, like breathe and stuff, but I was just like, yeah, I'm okay, and then like did that. But yeah, that was another like really outrageous story. So I think those are the two I can think of off the top of my head. So you
Dude, those
got
are
you got a four,
crazy.
got a twofer and a twofer, a double
Yeah.
double special.
No, I'm grateful. Dude, that's like straight out of a
Yeah,
sitcom.
yeah, literally, yeah. Some of the stuff I've experienced, it's like even past like customers, just in life in general, it's like sitcom material, like draw, like what's it called, soap opera material, like, and it's really weird. But I think on the other end of it, I think it's also like kind of like a blessing in a way, not a blessing, but like kind of like a gift in a way that it's just like, oh, you've handled all this adversity, and it's just like, oh, as a gift, like if you can find a way to like respin it, like you get to keep it, and like you
Yeah.
get to like you get to like do with it what you will because like the damage is already done. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you repaired it and like you like did something else with it, which is kind of cool. So I guess that's kind of my way of like um I guess kind of addressing it. I kind of do it like maybe like in a comedic way or maybe just kind of how it was right now, just like telling you how it was. It's just kind of a cool thing about like when even when like really bad stuff happens to you, you can kind of like eventually with time and grieving and however process it takes you to heal, you still have that in your toolbox that you can just like refer to for like empathy, refer to it for like comedic value and stuff like that, and use it also like as a measurement to like a testament to like who you used to be and who you are now. So
Yeah,
pretty cool.
Nathan, you seem like a really solid dude who's learned a lot.
Thanks. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hmm. So, did you want me to ask you some questions myself, or did you
Uh,
want to keep
it's
asking
up
questions?
to you. If you have questions you want to ask me, you can.
Yeah, sure. So, I wanted to ask you um, since we were talking about Tyler the Creator before,
Mm-hmm.
what is your journey with Tyler the Creator? Like, how did you find him? Like, what are your like kind of like favorite albums from him? Like, what in like a grand scope? Like, what's your like kind of like what it has Tyler impacted you?
So for me, I think Flower Boy was the first album I listened to by him, and it was like right when it came
Mm,
out. My
yeah,
Yeah, my sister showed me like who he was and kind of gave me just like a very basic
yeah.
introduction to him, and then I went back and I listened to a couple tracks from
Hmm.
Goblin or Bastard, I think. I don't. Oh, Bastard. I listened to a couple tracks from
Bastard,
Bastard,
yeah, yeah.
and then
Hmm.
from there onward, like whenever he came out with an album, I'd listen to him, and I didn't. He didn't really grow on me until like a year after Igor came out, I think.
Okay, yeah. So he was a grower for you for sure. Like about like the like kind of the I guess like the foothold it would have on you. It took a little while.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um. Oh shoot! I had something and I just lost it.
Yeah, you were saying about like it took until like a year after like Igor for like the for you to really get into him. Your sister showed you like who he was.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like I listen to a lot of artists, so to me
Hmm.
he just kind of really, how do I put it? He's just kind of like a background artist. I don't want to say that because I feel like I'm demeaning
Yeah, it's
him as
not.
an
Yeah,
artist.
it's not. No, it's not demeaning at all. I mean, that's fine. Like every artist, like they kind of like it. I feel like with music, like who you listen to, it's kind of like a whole catalog. It's like a collage, if you will, of like different artists that you listen to, and the fact that it's like even on your collage in general is still like an honor for like an artist to be like a part of your life, for your that like art to take enough presence to be like a part of your life. So. I don't think it's like the meaning at all.
Yeah, right after like year after Igor,
Hmm.
I love Tyler. Now I'm super
Hmm.
stoked with whatever he comes out with. I think he's working on
Hmm.
another album that's coming out shortly
Yeah.
from what I
Yeah.
know.
Hmm.
So, I'm super stoked for that.
Yeah. So, and you would say in general, you would probably say like your favorite is like Flower Boy, you would say?
Oh, it's either Flower Boy or Call Me If You Get Lost.
Yeah. That's very solid choices. So, I don't have anything to say about that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, well yeah.
Um,
It is pretty cool. Thanks.
yeah.
I
Yeah. So,
actually
and for yeah. Well, I was gonna say if you wanted me to talk about my history with Tyler, I can if you want.
dude, yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah. So, my history with Tyler is actually kind of interesting as well because I also was hooked from Flower Boy as well.
Yeah, that's
So
the
basically, what
album right
happened?
there.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess in a way it kind of made sense because like that album kind of did kind of bring in a lot of new people because I mean from Cherry Bomb to Flower Boy it is going to bring in a lot of new people just because it's kind of like a more beautiful sound in a way I guess compared to like the sonically bombasticness of Cherry Bomb. Um but basically, how it happened was there's kind of like two ways that I think I found him, but both were both from Spotify. Um, I think it was either from my Discover Weekly playlist. I had like one of the songs on there, or I think this is the second one's more of what happened. I think I was like about to bike to high school and I was like in the garage and I think I was like thinking I was bored or something. So I started typing in like boredom for some random reason. I had no reason to do it, but I was just like I put like BOR and blah 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 and then it popped up boredom on Spotify and I was like, "Oh, what's this?" It's like an orangey cover. It's kind of cool. And I clicked on it. And I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "Wow." So and then after that, I just got into Flower Boy and stuff like that. I even used Flower Boy what's it called for like one of my school projects and like I think it was like junior year of high school for like an English class. I took like some of his lyricism and stuff like that and like I used it for an English project. I think I was like comparing him to like I think I was like you I think it was like the Scarlet Letter or something like that, but like I was
Hmm.
like using it and I was like or like it might have been it was the Great Gatsby. That's what I was doing it. Because I think I was like talking about like love and stuff like that, and then the Great Gatsby, there's
Oh,
stuff about like love and
yeah.
stuff like that. So I kind of put those two together, and that was really cool. Um, and yeah, so I think that was maybe like a year after Fall Out Boy came out or something. But yeah, but I fell in love with that. It really like opened up my mind in like so many ways, and like I literally, without that album, you would not know the person I am today. Like that album, I think I cannot like thank enough. Like that album literally
It's
like changed my life.
it's a great album.
So yeah, which I mean it is. I mean, like, and the features on it are crazy. Like
Yeah.
Estelle is on it. Like
Hmm.
ASAP Rocky is on it. Like Lil Wayne is on it. So and Frank Ocean's on it too and stuff. It's just like it's just very sonically cohesive and stuff like that. And all that. So I learned basically I kind of went from there backwards, and then I remember not too long after I found like Yonkers, the song Yonkers where he like eats the roach, and I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is kind of weird, but this is kind of cool at the same time. Um, so yeah, and then I just kept like getting into it, and then like listen to the other stuff like Cherry Bomb and Wolf, and the only thing is I haven't gotten into Bastard yet, just because it's like not on streaming. So I guess that's kind of like a knock a little bit as me as a Tyler fan, because like I'm not like I haven't heard all of his stuff,
Oh,
but which
there's.
I guess like
I
mhm.
was gonna just say there's a couple good tracks on there that I don't remember what they're called. My sister would know because she loves Tyler a lot more than
Oh
I
really?
do.
Yeah, that's
She's a
cool.
Tyler stan, but I've listened to
Uh-huh.
it. There's a couple tracks on there that I think you would really like. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And I've heard too, that like Bastard is apparently better than Goblin, which I honestly don't uh really disagree, just because like Goblin is just very Goblin's a very like I don't know, there's some tracks that just don't hold up in my opinion, but I mean, there's other tracks like the Frank Ocean one where I think it's her or she, one of those, and that like blew up and everything. I love that song.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that one is on Goblin. That one's pretty good, but I don't blame people that think like Bastard's better. Um, because like I said, I just like heard a lot of that kind of discourse, and um, knowing from what Goblin was, it was kind of like very wishy-washy in my opinion as far as like good tracks to like okay meh tracks. So
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, but then I pretty much like went like backwards, and then after like listening kind of backwards and stuff like that here and there, um I went to like listen to Igor, and then like Call Me If You Get Lost and stuff. So but yeah. And then I wanted to share another cool fact.
Yeah, go for it.
Um Another cool fact about Tyler and Frank Ocean. They both were Starbucks baristas at one point.
I knew that Tyler was. I didn't know that Frank was though.
For a
That's
short
cool.
time, he was because the thing is with Frank, for a brief time, like there was a time where he was like working different jobs. So he had like I think it was like Starbucks and like Whataburger and like different places, just to, like kind of get some money. Because I think I got I got this stuff from the Dissect podcast on Spotify. Do you know that podcast?
I don't.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I could send it to you later, but
Yeah.
basically it's like a podcast that dissects like basically an album, and it'll talk about the artist, the songs, like sonically how is it, lyrically how is it, the theme how is it, and he can't the I think the person's name is Cole Kushner, the person that does the podcast, and he just
Oh,
basically
okay.
breaks it all down, and he's done like a bunch of different projects, but one of the ones he did was on Frank Ocean. He did it on like a combo season of like Channel Orange and a little bit of Blonde. And he talked about like the history. I think it was like I think Frank Ocean at one point he was gonna go to like I think it was like the University of Louisiana or something like that. He was in Louisiana, and there was like a Hurricane Katrina or a hurricane that hit, so it kind of like messed things up and all that.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's like a whole story behind it. But yeah, he had like multiple jobs at one point and everything. So I just wanted to say that because it was kind of cool. Because I also am a Starbucks barista, so it's pretty sick that it's just like wow, like I'm in the same like job as him. Like that's kind of cool.
Well, yeah, okay, so all three of me, Tyler, and Frank, we all make beats.
hmm
So when is Nathan gonna
hmm
start making beats?
Oh, that's funny you say that. You already like asked me before. I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly don't know, and I did like do a little bit of like messing around and like band lab and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I pretty much like on the laptop, you can like with the keys on it, you can just like press like different things on the keyboard, but it's not something I'm opposed to per se. I just know like it's technically like another kind of pricey hobby, I guess, a little bit just with like the gear and stuff
It
like
can
that.
be.
Yeah, which I mean it can be. I'm not looking to like if I were to do, I'm not gonna be like silly and get like top of the line like grade A like studio like quality like super high pricey when I just am getting into it. But I don't have an answer for you for that when I'm gonna make beats myself. But that did cross my mind. It's crossed my mind multiple times actually. Especially this year, I was thinking about it, like looking up different like beat machines and stuff like that, and like the thing with like the
Ooh.
tapping like little things. Because like that's the thing I like when I see like people doing it like on TikTok and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I just love that kind of like they like chop it up and stuff. But yeah, so it seems kind of cool. Plus like sampling and stuff. Oh my gosh, I love like when Spotify when you're playing it when you like what's it called? Sometimes they'll like give you a song to recommend and like you'll be hearing it like, oh, it's kind of like an older song, and then you'll be like, wait a second, Kendrick used this, or like, wait a
Yeah.
second, like this is from this artist, and you'll like be like, whoa, like a that's so Raven moment. You'll just like flashback of like, like what? So it's just like really cool that you kind of like connect the dots and stuff, which also happens to me at Starbucks too, because like sometimes I'll just hear that I'm like, oh, that's a Ye sample. Oh, Ye use this. Ye use that. Literally, and like I'll tell some of my other like coworkers that like music along with like me, like not like kind of different. Some of my friends they'll like know of the artist I'm talking about, but like they'll listen to other kind of different parts of music. But I'll tell them like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. But like my brain, it kind of like works like that, where it likes to find those like, oh man, like MF Doom used this, or like, what is it? There was this one sample that what was it? It was like from a random clip, and it was from one of like Virgil Abloh's like last like shows, and it was like it had Kanye West and Pharrell Williams. They were like bumping to it, and it was like I think it went like "Ba-da-na-na-na-na, ba-da-na-na-na-na," and I was just like, wait, I don't even know what the song is, and then I kind of forgot about it. But then at Starbucks it played, and I think it was on the Global Blends playlist or something. And I was like, wait a second. I'm like, ran over to the tablet and I took a picture with my phone. I was like, this is a song. And I was like, and then I played it like at home and stuff like that. And I'm like, this is the song that was in that one like part of the show. It's so crazy.
That's
So,
awesome.
but yeah, I guess in short, I guess from this, I'm a huge music nerd, which I guess helps with like the sampling and stuff like that. So I don't have a firm date, but that would be something pretty cool, like in my lifetime to do that kind of sort of beat sampling and stuff like that. It seems really cool.
I'm telling you, man, all you need is just a laptop.
Yeah, I mean, I get that's true because I mean, like Steve Lacy made Dark Red on his phone, so
Yeah,
I
that's
I guess
actually
I
what I
kind of
was
don't
gonna
have much to
say.
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is true, which is kind of true. So it's kind of like an excuse, but I don't know. I gotta figure stuff out. So I'll figure it out. But that's definitely something I'm not like opposed to. Like, oh, why would you ask that? Like I am like that. I love music enough that I would love to do that, and especially too, I have a stem player too. So like it
yeah,
was kind of another thing. I guess it kind of technically counts like my foot's kind of in the door. I mean, it is kind of hampered because it's like it's not like a lot of customization. There's some customization you can do, like you can like mess with like the gating on it. You can mess with like an echo effect. You
mm,
can loop stuff. You can like isolate the stems and stuff, which I was liking, which is kind of why I got it. just because I was like, oh man, that's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, so I guess that's kind of like my first step in the door. But yeah, we'll see. Time will tell. I'll look into it.
Yeah, dude.
Hmm.
I wanted to ask, where do
Hmm.
you see yourself in 5 years?
Ooh. Um. Hmm. Honestly, I see myself in 5 years, being in a spot where I'm more comfortable with myself and being in a spot that I wasn't, being in a spot that I wasn't there before. Like something I have in mind that I've been like kind of thinking about and I've told you about, was like doing content creation and stuff like that, like more
Mm-hmm.
seriously. So I would hope within the next 5 years that I would have some sort of channel going and like have some sort of like online presence like that, because that's something I've been thinking about pretty much my whole life. I've really liked that sort of like entertaining comedy, um, and like loving of music kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I see myself, like online presency, being in a different spot than I was before, and just being more comfortable with myself, and just the typical, not typical, but just the personal journey to kind of keep pushing through and going through with it.
Okay, I like that, and I definitely think that you should start your own channel whenever
Hmm.
you feel
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because I mean, like, and that's the other thing too that I understand as well, is that it's just like, oh, whenever you feel ready. But then there's like, it's a paradoxical truth where,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's like when you're ready, but then there's the other part of it is just like, oh, just jump in. Like, you'll never fully be ready. But like, both of them are technically correct, because like, there's an aspect of like being comfortable because like, you don't want to like be so like uncomfortable to the point where you can't really like, you don't really love the process of it because you're so uncomfortable with it. But you also don't want to be at the point where you're like waiting too long, and then like kind of like your interest kind of warps a little bit, and you kind of like lose your like interest in yourself, that you think like you can't do it and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely kind of like an interesting balance, for sure. And I've actually dipped my toes into content creation a little bit already. Because like when I was in high school, I did used to have like Snapchat stuff, and it's actually another crazy thing. My first post I ever made on Snapchat was about Flower Boy, which is kind of cool. Um,
Nah, that's
I basically,
crazy.
yeah, which I said basically, I was like, I had a picture of my laptop, and I was like, hey, like, I'm listening to this really awesome album while I'm studying. That's pretty much what it was, but that was my first Snapchat. And then I pretty much would just go on like, and just do like just funny stuff. I would just mess around with the filters and just like basically like making fun of the filters and stuff like that, and using them and stuff. So I would just kind of like mock them, but also like see what I could do with it. Um, so a lot of them I'm kind of like, it's just like, ooh, that's kind of cringy, but I just remember really liking that process of doing that, of just creating and stuff. So it was kind of like a litmus test of like, yeah, this is might be something that I would like, because I was starting to make the sausage, and I was like, oh wow, this is kind of a cool process. So so that, and then also, what's it called? I also did content creation a little bit when I was in college as well, with like What Radio. I had like my own radio show for a little bit. And then also like a little bit on TikTok. I did like a few videos. So my feet has been in there before, but being more committed to it and more consistent, I'll try to do that when I'm ready, and also like more proactively. So
Best
but yeah, so
best time is the present moment, the today
yes,
would
yes, yes,
be
yes, 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 yes.
would be the best
As your
time,
videos has talked about.
but no pressure.
Hmm. Yes, exactly. So, but yeah. So,
Um,
did you want me to ask another question, or do you have another question?
I actually, how old are you?
I am
If you're comfortable
22,
telling me that. Okay, cool.
22,
So I got a year
22,
on you.
22. Yeah, exactly. 1 year. Also, if I can open up about this as well.
Yeah, go for it.
My birthday's super easy to remember, because it's the name of a gas station. I'll let you guess.
Oh, 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm. Ding, 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 ding. You're the only person that's got it right on the first guess. So,
Really?
woohoo. Yeah.
It's like
Everybody
the
else was about,
only gas station
oh,
with the number.
yeah, I know. I don't know. Like everybody's been stumped every time. Like, oh, like in my head, I'm just like looking into their brain, and they're just like thinking, like, is it BP? Is it Kirkland? And is it? It's like none of those are numbers.
Wait, so
But
what's your zodiac sign then? I don't know what day.
I'm a Cancer. I am a Cancer.
You're a
So
Cancer. Oh, I don't think
yeah,
I've
so I be in
ever
my
met a
feels.
Cancer or like had a friend
Really?
that was a Cancer so yet.
That's
Yeah, so
it.
you're the first.
I'm the first. I'm the first. Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, and I know also like with astrology, I'm not super into it, but I'm also like not against it. I actually have a really really close friend that's more into astrology and like tarot and stuff like that. And she kind of is tried to explain it to me in a little to me a little bit more about that. And it's I mean it's pretty cool. I just haven't really gotten into it fully because I mean if you think about it, it's kind of like another language in a way, and it's a whole universe to kind of get into. Which I mean, it's not, and that's like not really like a knock on it. It's kind of like a good thing in a way that it has that much depth because a lot of people love to slash it. Be like, oh man, it's so stupid. Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like Scorpio, like, but it's just like when you dive into it further, like when you find out the date you were born and all this stuff, it opens up into like all these different houses and all this different stuff that it gives you multiple things like you may be a Scorpio in here, Aries in here, and Sagittarius in another, and it gives you a more accurate or I guess more descriptive way of putting it instead of people being like, "Oh, this is so general." Like you could just freaking like put that in freaking Google. Like that anybody could be anything, like that kind of thing. Like kind of like Myers-Briggs territory, but like way more derogatory. So that's kind of what it seems like astrology, in my opinion. A lot of people think, but for me, I'm okay with it. But I just haven't gotten into it a lot.
Yeah, I know like maybe decent to little amount. My mother's really into it, so that's how I've kind of learned about it. But I don't know like houses and what the moon
Yeah,
means right now and stuff like that.
yeah, me either. But yeah, but like my friend, my real close friend was telling me is that if you find out like the date you were born, where you were born, like the city you were born, like all those give you more information to get even more like understanding about who you are. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. But
Well,
yeah.
talking about the zodiac,
Hmm.
so you're
Hmm.
22.
Yeah.
I guess it's not related, but in the
Hmm.
22 years that you've been alive, what do you think has been the
Hmm.
most important thing that you've learned?
Ooh. Mm. Hmm.
It's pretty deep, I know.
Yeah, I like that. I like that question. It's really good. What's the most important thing I've learned? Um, I would probably say like the most important thing I've learned would definitely be the idea of like um constantly like repositioning like your thoughts and like having like a different perspective and using like your creativity to like to your benefit. Just because like for example, like when a lot of stuff has like happened to me in my life, it seems like it kind of like gets me down and stuff, but when I try to like reframe it or I try to like find like a funny way to put it, it definitely kind of like lightens the load and gives me like more perspective of what the situation really was, or what it could have like been had I not done a certain thing or had I done a certain thing. So it really kind of like probes the fire and makes me look a little differently and entertains me at the same time if I can find a different perspective that is also entertaining. So, and also in a way, being like looking for a different perspective also adds on to the idea of like resilience as well. Because if you have the energy and you have the power to change your thoughts or change your perspective or find a different way to look at it, you're in a way that's part of the way of being a resilient person. So yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Persistence, perception, it's really good.
Yeah, because I mean, for sure, like resilience, like a lot of people say like resilience, but it's like a very like open term. But I think that's one thing concretely, um, at least I have done to kind of help me get through like really tough times and really try to like reassemble things when it seems like life as a Jenga tower is already set. You can just kind of like rearrange it, and like if it tumbles, then like you can kind of grab the blocks and then reassemble it again. And um, it's not like they could have never been toppled. The point of Jenga was to topple it over eventually. So just kind of like reconstructing, relooking, and all adding up to resilience and the redirection to find joy and all that. So
Oh, I love that. I've never heard anyone use that metaphor before.
yeah,
That's
I think I've put it in
beautiful.
one of your comments before. Yeah, that just kind of came off the top a little bit. I think a little bit from the comment that I did on one of your videos.
I love
So
that. Oh, I think I
yeah.
remember that comment. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. And
Oh
that's honestly
man.
what I love about you and your channel and everything is that like whenever I talk to you and like whenever I see your videos, like this sort of interaction kind of like engages in my brain where like that sort of like thinking things in like a different perspective, thinking things in like a different creative light and being more like introspective. I partially accredit that to you and your channel. So I wanted to say thank you for that. I love your channel and your stuff to pieces. So
Oh man, thank you. That means so much to me.
yeah.
I don't
Mm.
get much praise, so it really does mean a
No,
lot.
seriously, like it's really good. Like I genuinely like look forward to like your videos and stuff like that. And like it's crazy to like just like uh like commenting on your videos and then to now like actually talking to you. It's kind of like a full circle moment, a little bit of things kind of being different, but also the same that we're still like interacting. So it's pretty cool.
Well, I'm super excited to be friends.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's really good and it's just like I feel like I don't have a lot of friends to share like this kind of conversation with and share music with. Because a lot of people I'll send music to and they'll just like not listen to it or just not really comment about it and stuff like that. But talking to you, you'll like you might not listen to it now, but you'll like tell me about it later or we can even talk about like the music we're currently listening to, and just all of that. We just seem to have like a really good like back and forth discussion with this and about music and stuff. So that's just something I really look for with people in my circle and stuff like that. So it's a joy to have you in my life. So I appreciate you.
Well, I'm glad to be part of that circle then if you consider me
Mhm.
so.
For sure, yeah.
But it is about my bedtime. I do
Okay.
have to go. But thank
Okay,
you for
sounds good.
talking with me today, Nathan. It's very good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot, I think.
For sure, that's good. And I learned a lot from you as well with like your talking about like with Melee and stuff like that and learning about like who you play as and like your story with Tyler. That was some of my questions that I was thinking about. I was like, oh, how does he know Tyler? So, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to like us continuing to interact and stuff. That's another thing too. I like it's kind of weird because like we've been like interacting a lot on like YouTube and stuff, and like it kind of made me think about like what it would be like if we kind of did this sort of thing, and then when you did your episode with Sparkmageddon, now like I don't know, I just think this kind of thing would be kind of cool to do. So at whatever rate works and whatever rate is good for your channel and everything. But I'm very on board if you wanted to continue this as some sort of thing for us to like have videos and stuff with us talking. I'm more than happy to join. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm considering like talking to it's not like you guys are off the table. I'm totally down to talk
yeah,
again and
100%.
Maybe we get multiple people on a call or something like that. I don't know. We'll kind of see. I'm just kind
Yeah,
of
sure.
going with whatever happens right now. So,
100%. Yeah, because I mean, you were saying before you have stuff you already have stuff like you're already chefing up some other stuff. So I don't
oh
want to
yeah,
like mess up that. So I want to as some people say, let him cook. So
yeah. Let the man cook.
so
Yeah,
yeah, I know. Yeah. So I want to let you cook and not put my too many hands in the cookie jar.
I
So.
appreciate that.
But yeah, so it's your you gotta go and but yeah, and I'll go too. And yeah, it was a pleasure doing this call. And let me know if you want me to like if I can maybe help with anything like maybe editing and stuff like that. I don't have that much experience of it, but and I can help whatever in whatever way I can. So you can just you can let me know if you need any help with anything else.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
But yeah, I'll talk to you later, Cujo.
Okay, have a good
Bye.
night, Nathan.
You too. Bye.